What's up, wrestling fans? It's Alex Wendling here on the first episode of Who's Next, where I get to talk to all the next WWE superstars. And Faithy J, she was one of the first females, actually, I think the first female to get the contract from Triple H. So just thinking back to that moment, Faith, what was it like?
Oh my gosh, literally surreal. I thought I was in a dream. I literally asked him, I was like, wait, are you serious? He was like, no, we're just kidding. So he had a good sense of humor. And it was just crazy. I felt like I was in a dream, but if I could go back, I would.
And when I talked to Jamara, she mentioned you as being one person that she connected with. So when you look at the girls that made it, were those some of the connections that you made right away?
Everyone, all the women, and even some of the guys, I'm not sure of who all made it in the guys, but even them, I connected very well with everybody, and the women that made it were super excited. And Jamara's always been amazing. There's Jalen, Brooke, we got Sydney, Kelly. We have just such great women that made it, and everybody, everyone at the tryout, you were there, girl, you killed it. Everybody was so supportive and nice. So I'm just grateful, and I definitely connected with all the women that made it very well. So
the energy of the auditions was always so electric. I loved it. But when you think about how you want to combine wrestling, combat sports, your love for music, how do you think this platform is going to make it that much easier for you?
oh my gosh, I'm extremely grateful. Honestly, it's kind of just an answer to my prayers in a way, because it's World Entertainment Wrestling. That's literally what it is. There's people that have come out and performed before they fought, which is what I did in WoW. I wrote and recorded my entrance music and had dancers, and then did the match. And if I'm able to do that again on this platform, I will be extremely grateful. And just entertain, I always have loved taekwondo and martial arts and wrestling, and of course performing and dancing. So it really brings it all together in a way that I could not even ask for any better. This is a dream come true.
And as a mainly MMA reporter, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, did you at least at one point consider becoming a professional fighter, as has it only been training?
Oh, yes. So right out of high school, I graduated in 2017. I was like, parents, I'm not going to college, okay? But they were always so supportive. They're both entrepreneurs as well, so they've always supported me. And I did consider for sure training for the UFC or pro boxing, as I had a lot of great, amazing trainers like Malik Scott, for example, who's now Deontay Wilder's coach for his fight coming up in October. So I've been training with Malik since I was 15. I've known him forever, and he's like my uncle now. So him and so many other great boxing and fighting trainers that I've worked with, I did consider it. But with the
All the talent and the beauty that you have too, I don't know if you need it.
listen, I just knew my parents would not enjoy, it's inevitable. You're going to get knocked, you're going to get maybe a little bit of cauliflower ear, this and that. So my love and passion also for acting and music and wanting to do that as well. Not that you couldn't, but I just decided wrestling is, I love wrestling, number one, but it's just such a great mix of entertainment, to where I was like, I tried out for WoW right out of high school, literally probably a month after I graduated, and then started training, and I fell in love with it even more than just watching it. I never thought I'd have the opportunity to actually become one. I've always watched it and was like, yo, that's so freaking cool. So now sitting here thinking that that's happening, it's just, or knowing that's happening, is just insane. So to answer your question, yes, I did think of doing that, but my heart and soul brought me to wrestling.
And it sounds like everything has just brought you to the right path, and everything has been meant to be. So when you heard the news that you were getting this contract, was it immediate, like, okay, this is definitely what I'm going to do? Or did you have anything back home, or just different ideas of which routes you could go?
I literally was like, this is happening. Anything that I also want to pursue later, it's all timing. It's all divine timing. It's all God's plan. So this, as soon as you get that green light, you better take it, you know, like, so in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to move. Like, in fact, I'm literally, it looks clean here, but in my room, there's boxes and like trash bags full of stuff I'm giving away and suitcases. Like literally, we're packing up over here. So there was no question at all about it. And anything else that presents itself along this journey, you know, is also meant to be part of the path. So this is kind of like the next amazing step that I'm super grateful for. So.
And when is the official move? I think by the end of September?
So very beginning of October. October 2nd is my fly out date. And yeah, I'm super excited. So I've lived here my whole life. So I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on, you know, gathering and getting rid of and figuring out what I want to bring. So it's definitely a process.
And it's probably so exciting knowing that you're going to be part of this kind of rebranding of NXT, and they really want to do something different with it. And now you also have the news of gold Olympic medalist Gable Steveson's going to WWE. So picture you going to the PC in Orlando and you see Gable Steveson there. Would Miss Lioness and Gable Steveson tag team duo go undefeated? I feel like that's a pretty unstoppable pairing right there.
I feel like that is definitely undeniable for sure. Sheesh, no stopping that pair right there for real. That would be so dope.
And how awesome is it just to know that they're bringing in these big names and you're going to be at that level with them, competing, hustling every day to create the greatest storylines possible.
Man, honestly, it just motivates me, you know, motivates me to be the best version of myself that I can be. And, you know, the saying they always say, you have to surround yourself by people that you know, want to get to their level. So just doing that alone, I feel is going to help elevate me and elevate the other women that made it and the men that made it. So I'm really excited for all of our future. And just like I said, being around that level of greatness is going to be very inspiring. And I look forward to that.
I'm just so happy for you. I remember watching you in the ring, just like different aspects of it, like the bumps and slamming and getting on your stomach, like the way you were doing it, obviously I could tell that you had done it before and you had practiced this, and it definitely wasn't your first time, but also just the extra bang and the hair flip that just looked like you were doing it for so long. So of all the people to get it, I was like, I know Faithy's gonna get it. So I'm just so happy for you, and I can't wait to officially see you in there too. Where did the nickname Lioness come from?
Good question. So my family and I actually kind of came up with that together. I'm a Leo. I have a lion right here meditating. But yeah, I'm a Leo. My birthday is August 5th. And I've just always loved the saying, having the heart of a lion. And, you know, lions are the king of the jungle, you know? So I've always like, I feel like it's my spirit animal, and maybe in a past life I was an animal, right? And like my hair,
with your hair.
If I tease it up, this is my natural. Like my hair is naturally curly and just like wild, and yeah, I've always had an attachment to lions, and just being a Leo of that zodiac sign, and you know, Leos are very extra, so. I enjoy playing that part.
Wow. So that's what is so amazing to me, because you're so young and you seem so mature in the sense that like you want to be pushed to this next level. Whereas people when they're 21, 22, you know, I guess their biggest motivation is being able to go out to the bar, but you seem to have your aspirations so set in line and you're so focused. What made you kind of grow up so fast? Have you wanted to just always have a platform like WWE, and that's always been your main goal?
I love this topic. So everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own goals and journey, and whatever people want to do is completely cool. Like whatever makes you happy. For me, what makes me happy is my family and being able to give them what they've given me, because I'm an only child, and my parents have sacrificed so much just to get me the best training, or just the best of what we can get, because you know, we didn't like, you know, we're middle class, we're comfortable, but like sometimes obviously all of us, we have those struggles, but You know, growing up, like I used to force them to watch me when I was 3 years old in the living room. Like I would set up my Barbies as my audience and I would sing nonsense and be choreographing some dance. And then also apparently I used to hit everything. So that's where the Taekwondo came in, like as a 3 or 4 year old. So my mom put me in Taekwondo martial arts when I was 4 years old. Loved it, never missed a day of it. Got my black belt when I was 7, almost 8 years old. And then went back into dance when I was 5, 6 as well. I had a lot of energy. So we had to figure out how to contain it. And focus it towards something positive and that I loved. So I just continued doing that. And being in the entertainment industry, obviously, it's not easy. It's a very competitive, I would say, but there's room for everybody type of thing, and a lot of people don't understand that. Everybody has their own path, and I've been grinding for this literally since I was 4 years old. Like I did my first acting job in a movie with what's her name, Patricia Clarkson. So I did my first movie with her when I was 4. Peter Sarsgaard. I did a couple national commercials. I did an AT&T commercial. And this is when I was 4, but I looked 4, right?
Wow.
So I looked my age. So growing up, you know, the grind, and you're going to get 1,000 no's before you get that one yes. I've been 5'8" since I was 12. Always been a curvier girl, you know, and for the acting world, as you know, it's very... you gotta be like that, and I'm just not. So like, and that's cool because wrestling, that's where wrestling really, like, they want you to be yourself. You gotta be yourself in wrestling. You can only put up a front for so long, you know. So anyway, this grind from being a little girl to now has just, don't get me wrong, I feel like you have to have fun. If you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? And I do have
100%.
fun, and I love entertaining, because if I can inspire just one person from it, then I have done my job, you know? But yeah, I just, you know, everybody's gone through rejection. Everybody's gone through being bullied. Everybody has that story, you know? But the key is the getting up again and again and again after being told no, because once you audition for this thing, okay, on to the next.
Another
if you get
door
it,
opens.
cool. If you don't, cool. There's a bigger and better door that God is going to open. So I've just always had a hunger to prove people wrong, I guess you could say. But at the same time, you know, that doesn't really matter. You have to look at the people who are here and supporting you and that love you now, because they'll always show up again. You know, they're always going to show up again, which is fine. But I don't know, just you have to grow up kind of fast in this industry. And my point in telling you all of this for this answer is that starting at 4, you know, when you're 16, 17, your mindset has to be 26. You know what I mean? So now I'm 22, and of course still learning something new every day. I do not know everything whatsoever, but I sometimes feel like I'm 30 or 40, like up here. I forget. Because I mean, even a lot of my friends that I keep up with and talk to are in their 30s, and it's the same thing as before. If you want to be something, you have to surround yourself with that. So just, you kind of have to grow up fast and grow very thick skin as well in this industry.
That's awesome. There's so much respect there for that. And one of the comments you made is just being in the industry, and a lot of the times they tell you have to look a certain way or be skinny like a runway model. But WWE has been so big on really promoting the man who's super muscular. And I remember one of the comments you said is like, oh, I wish they did a Victoria's Secret runway for, you know, thicker woman. And I think that's awesome that you're kind of standing up for that in a sense, because there is so much like body pressure. So when you think about your role and always being on camera, how have you dealt with that pressure and changed your mindset and changing paradigms for other young girls growing up?
I have this conversation all the time with my girlfriends, and like social media and Hollywood has kind of really they put a very big, like, oh, you should look like this, but they'll be like, oh, be yourself, but not like that. Like, what? So for me, and I think I said it even I touched on it in my promo at the tryout. I was like, I'm tired of being put in a box. And I, growing up in it, like I said, have always been thick thighs, thunder thighs, and I will never change that. I used to want to as a younger girl. When you're influenced by all of this, you're like, dang, I wish I was like this. And we always want what we don't have. The biggest thing is comparing yourself to other people. We cannot compare who we are
100%.
to other people, because in reality, we really are all one, just different cells of a giant organism, if that makes sense. That's what makes us beautiful, is each and every one of us have a different fingerprint, but we all have a thumb. Does that make sense? Like, we all are the same, but different. We should embrace being different. Literally this morning, I was at the gym with my homegirl, and we were talking about, like, I have acne. I'm wearing makeup right now, but I'm very open about, like, I've always had an insecurity about my acne. I've always had an insecurity about, like, cellulite. But you know what? I'm a woman, okay? Women get that, and that's natural. So the stretch marks, all of that, of course we can want to improve it and be better. But in that process, you have to love that you have that, because that just makes you real. If it's perfect, it's not real. So keeping it real to me is very important. And growing up in this industry has been obviously a roller coaster in my mind frame of that. But all of that I'm grateful for, because it's been a journey of learning my mindset now. So there's always cameras. There's always something like, oh, I was not sucking it in right there. Like, oh, I was bloated that day. But you know what? I'm going to just cover that. It's behind there. I don't care anymore, because I'm just keeping it real.
I love that. I love the keeping it real part for you, because when you say it, you have, and like I say this as like a respectful way, like this kind of attitude and sass. When did you kind of grow into that character? Because with your promo, it was sassy, it was spot on, it was perfect for wrestling, and I feel like you weren't really acting like it. Like, I feel like that's really kind of who you are, like very confident and sassy in who you are. So when did you really get that? Because you're so young, it's something that a lot of people might not get until they're like 25, but you seem to own that right from the get-go.
Honestly, I feel I haven't fully embraced that until this year, to be honest. Like, going through, our little quarantine and stuff last year,
Oh
I
yeah.
gained I gained weight during that, and I just, I had a lot mentally, as we all did, had a lot mentally going on, like, during that time, and just reflecting and being forced to sit in the house with yourself and look at yourself all the time. I really felt that I grew through a lot of things, and thought back into the things that I have done throughout my life, and then what I want to do. And parents too, they've always instilled confidence within me, and to love who I am, and to embrace everything about myself. But it's a journey to truly become confident and love yourself, but the key is to embrace every part of the journey. You can't just embrace the good part, because you have to go through the bad part, and the tears, and the rejection of rejecting yourself. You have to go through that in order to grow.
Definitely. I love that. I love the that you're so open about with COVID. Like, even I gained a few pounds before, not right before the auditions, but with all the COVID stuff and gyms being closed, if you're living in California, it was tough. And I think I was so thankful for this audition, because I saw all the other girls, like Brooke, just coming off of her bodybuilding stuff, and all the girls just looked in such great shapes, all different body types, whatever sport they had come in. But I think leaving the audition, I was so much more motivated to be like, okay, yes, my body's fine the way it is, but like looking at all these other girls, like, and everything we were willing to do, it just like motivated me to get even more involved in athletic things and wrestling and jujitsu and different things like that. So it was such an inspiration, like being around all of you guys. And I'm so happy that you guys are going to be moving on into Orlando. So I do want to end on a quick little rapid fire questions. I did this with Jamar as well. So it's funny to see everyone's answers. So we already answered this one partially. It was going to be your horoscope sign, but if you also have your moon and rising, then you can answer that as well.
My moon is Gemini, my rising is Aries.
Tacos or sushi?
Oh my God, that's hard. I'm going to go with tacos because, yeah.
And first thing that comes to your mind when you hear grape squishers?
Wine.
And your favorite genre of music?
Oh, that's a hard one too. Ooh, I'm going to go with R&B.
Dream movie role?
Ooh, action superhero.
And favorite martial art?
I would say, I'm going to say Taekwondo because that's what brought your girl into it. So.
And I think we touched on this beginning, but your signature move, the tornado kick, is there any other favorite move that you have?
Ooh, I love doing body slams. Just pick them up and slam them down. Love doing those. Drop kicks and a missile drop kick. We're going to add that into there. We go off the top rope. And that's if I don't defeat them with the tornado kick. You just add that and usually does the job.
Your favorite WWE superstar of all time, could be past or present?
Man, honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Charlotte Flair. 100%.
Ooh, I can totally see you having her confidence.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Love
so
her.
excited to see you in action. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your WWE future superstar. I can't wait to see it. She emanated the greatest energy throughout the whole audition, and it is no surprise that she was the first to get the call back from Triple H. So we can't wait to see what she does. She's representing Las Vegas. She'll be headed to the PC at the beginning of October, you said. And we just can't wait to see you in action, Miss Faithy J, the Lioness. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.